we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
Well, it's great, except my eyelid is still drooping. So please don't panic. I am not having a stroke. That's what I thought yesterday. It's migraine Botox has caused me to have a drooping eyelid. So I just lead with, I'm okay, just in case. But other than that, I'm good. I've had a real all true crime all day because I'm getting ready because we're doing our Patreons. Our Patreons will be up tonight. And I've been all over that. And then my cases for today, like that's all I've done.
Nice. I like it.
Which, that's not surprising.
That's not a bad day. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you?
I have been working on designing some stained glass. People keep sending me these cute little stained glass dragonflies that the bodies are an old key, like a skeleton key.
Oh, cute.
And then they have stained glass wings. They're so cute. So I've been working on designing a wing for those and got them all cut out today. Yeah, playing with that and trying to cut copper paper. If you can you can solder on copper. So you have to have, like, if you wanted to like solder a design onto your wings, you'd need to have like copper paper or adhesive copper in your design so that you could solder on that.
Sure.
Good Lord. Well, my hand's not steady enough to just cut it like with an X-Acto knife. So that's out. And I've tried cutting it on my silhouette 6 ways to Sunday, and it just there's like this fine line between it. Either cuts it not enough and just makes an impression, or cuts it too much and peels it right off the paper as it's cutting. Like I can't find the sweet spot. Maybe I still will. I don't know. But it's expensive and I wasted a lot of paper so far. So we'll find out. This may not be a path forward for me. We'll see.
Such is the way of being a creative, is it not? I've had so many 3D printer problems lately and failed prints. I've just been...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's just the life. It's just
the
life.
It is, and my experience with vinyl cutters is that they are super inconsistent. Something that works for you really well one time, next time, all bets are off. So even if I figure it out this time, that doesn't mean I've just now got it figured out. Probably not.
Yeah, I know. That's, it's just all about commitment. That's what it is.
It really is. So anyway, so I have those, but I have the vinyls of the wings all printed. So all I have to do now is cut my glass and I ordered keys last week. So the only challenges I have left now is that I have lost the keys that I ordered last week, but they have to be here somewhere. Oh, no. Hopefully they're not outside in a snowbank, courtesy of Nell. But
oh no, yeah, that could happen.
Yeah. So that's, I got to find those and then I can start cutting some glass and probably not going to do a wing design on them this time since I seem to not have the first clue what I'm doing. But, well, okay. Not entirely fair. I have one other option. I could use glass paint, and I could, this idea is coming to me as we're speaking. Sorry for boring you all with a bunch of crafty, geeky stuff, but I'm realizing I could cut out a design on the silhouette with silkscreen material, and I could silkscreen them on in glass enamel and pre-fire them. So they wouldn't be done in solder, but I could still do a design. Okay, never mind. I've got it figured out. Goodbye.
How exciting. Look at this. All we had to do was talk about it on the internet, and you figured it out.
And it came to me. You have lots of options, dummy. You don't have to be stuck on one. Okay, here we go.
Well, one of you asked me for a red panda the other day at Fidget Whimsy, and I have one. This is just a demo I printed to see how it prints. I had them all printed with like really cute face detail, and my printer errored out in the middle of the night, and ultimately I had to fail fucking print. Oh my God. Anyway,
Okay.
they're printing with face detail now, and they're this same size, and they have a little hole in the tail, so they can be a keychain if you want them to be. But anyway,
Oh,
I'm going to have red pandas here very shortly.
I like it. That's super cute.
Yeah. The
Okay.
face detail is so cute. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see
I wish I had it here to show you. But what I have is 3 of them that have half a face. Because that's how 3D printing works, man.
Yes.
God damn it.
Indeed. Well, Scott's been trying to design a part for his brother-in-law for, oh man, I don't even know how many times he's reprinted this thing over the last several days. And I mean, it's a design from like the ground up. So, printing one prototype after another, and whew, it's been close to going out the window, I think.
Yeah, you just say
It's
all of the
absolutely
bad
everything
words
it's
at
supposed
the
to
same
be,
time.
except for one factor that it just doesn't seem to want to do. And anyway, yeah, no, I get you.
Damn it!
Melissa said
Yeah.
she has crafter's version of a writing block right now, and at the
Ooh,
worst time when I have to make my spring and summer merch for my shop. Oof, Melissa.
damn it.
Girl, I feel you. This is the first creative day I've had since I had the flu. This is the first day I really felt like I could do something. Well, I did a
Yeah,
little clay, I guess, but yeah, no, I'm here.
it happens. Listen, Melissa, if you have not used solfeggio frequency meditations,
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend them. Look them up on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to
YouTube.
your music.
Tons of them on YouTube.
YouTube. Yes,
Oh, in
and
fact,
even
I have some.
look up some the creativity ones. They help a ton with stuff like that.
Yes, they do.
They're my go-to.
Melissa, I'm going to give
Oh, do you have some
a
on
link.
Meditation World?
Yeah. That's a link to my little meditation channel, and there are some solfeggio meditations there, so you can look there if you want. No pressure. But
What is a surreal, Melissa? Clarify that for me. Is that a character? Because if it is, I may be able to.
yeah,
It's
I
just a
don't know.
matter of I'm not a designer. I am a purchaser of designs, and then I design my own color schemes and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very possible.
Mhm. Honestly, there are so many designers out there that are designing based on all kinds of fantasy things. Well, that's what I
It's a
thought.
character from
Okay, I thought maybe
Hackatar.
I didn't know what
Oh,
I was talking about from Akatar.
okay. Well, I will take a
Search it
look
out. Yeah.
because it's very possible, or something similar that could be. Is it an animal or is it a fairy? Like something that could similar that could be like done in the right color scheme. There's lots of ways to make things fit. So I will
Yeah.
take a look.
Okay. Well, now you know.
That's cool.
I have a quick show and tell. I have piggy pictures.
Oh, well, good.
My pigs, they're getting spring fever, so they're, just more obnoxious than normal. They sleep most of the winter, but right now, oh boy, they are getting into stuff and just being a little more wild. But
Oh,
they really cracked me up today. I apparently was stowed away in my office working for too long this morning while they were up to nonsense, but they managed to drag every blanket off of the couches, the chairs. I have a barber chair in the corner that I just stack up and put extra blankets on for, people in the living room, your cozy space. They
yeah.
stole every single blanket.
Oh my gosh.
And this is how I found them. Just wrapped up in a big pile. Fiona fully wrapped in that blanket, like burritoed
Oh my
in that
gosh.
blanket. Mm-hmm.
That is so cute.
Yeah. Scott said, "Did you wrap her in that?" And I said, "No." She wrapped herself in that. But they slept just like that for hours this morning until somebody offered them a snack and they finally got out of bed. But yeah, spring can't come soon enough for these pigs.
That is hilarious.
They've got the spring fever, but she looked so funny, all cute, wrapped up in that blankie. They're
There we go.
very
I'm just
limited
making
on
a note.
blankies because they tear them up. But
Yeah, shitheads.
yeah,
Okay. I have a note now to see what I can find in the way of Akatar characters. I guess it's a skeletal type thing that wears a cloak.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone may have made it.
She traps the surreal a few times. You trap them by offering them a cloak.
Oh.
And then they'll tell you something that you need to know. They'll answer
Interesting. Yeah, she said there are a lot of times depicted drinking tea because they spilled the tea.
That's right.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, I
got
have
you, Melissa.
That's
All
awesome.
righty. Well, we better get into it. We have 4 segments today versus the 3 that we normally have, but there's a lot going
We
on.
do.
So I'm going to let you
There's
kick
so
us off
much.
with some WTF.
Yeah. Well, in sad and confusing news, actor Gene Akatar, oh my God, Gene Hackman and his wife have been found deceased in their home.
Yeah, their
They
dog.
were found yesterday, and it's very confusing. So Gene was found in their mudroom, just collapsed on the ground. His wife was found in a bedroom, I think. Her name is Betsy. And I think it was a bathroom actually. And their dog, one of their dogs was found deceased also next to her or near her in a closet.
Yeah.
None of them show any signs of foul play. And they all showed signs of decomposition, like they had been there a couple days.
What in the world?
So Gene Hackman is 95 years old.
Yeah.
He stopped acting about 20 years ago. This is in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And he has written some books with a friend. He's a painter and an artist, and he draws.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's really just gotten into like the artist life.
Mm-hmm.
His wife is actually an accomplished pianist.
Yeah.
Their deaths are being called suspicious, but they also don't consider any, at this point, they're not considering foul play.
Yeah.
They tested the house to see if there was a gas leak or carbon monoxide or anything like that. They found nothing. They did find some scattered pills and a pill bottle next to Betsy's body.
Mm.
So we're awaiting autopsy. They've been kind of reclusive. They live in a house way up on the hill. And people kind of see them in town occasionally, but not like a lot. This is in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's all rather horrible.
It's really sad. Yeah.
It is. So Gene Hackman is a dad and a grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Hackman was 95.
Yeah.
And his wife was 64. So
Right.
they had
Yeah.
quite and they've been married for a really long time, but they had quite an
Pretty
age
good
difference.
age gap. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, initially it was like, was this carbon monoxide poisoning? Something went wrong in the house? No. So now they're looking for, tox screen.
Mm-hmm.
Did he die of natural causes? And then she decided she couldn't go on without him and took the dog with. There were 2 other dogs on the property as well. But the
And
one
they're
dog that
okay.
was like in the house with her
Mm-hmm.
is deceased. The other 2 are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. It's
Wow.
extremely sad and
Yeah, it is.
mysterious and kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, what has occurred here? That these 2 people and their dog all passed at this point, what appears to be pretty close to the same time. But we won't know a lot more about that until the autopsy is back and the tox screen is back and all of those things. If by chance they'd passed of something that was in fact foul play, it's just odd because they were not in the same place in the house.
Right.
That didn't appear to be like planned. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, Jennifer? Maybe the dog was with her, accidentally ingested some of the spilled pills. Maybe.
Right.
Maybe
But
she
the
didn't
dog was
want
in
to
a
live
closet. Was it a
the
closed
rest of her
door
life
closet?
without him.
Right.
Yeah. So all of it, because they're all just sort of on their sides, deceased, with no injuries, no indication of anything.
Wow.
Yeah. Wild, huh?
Yeah.
So it's very sad, and I'm very sad for his family and her
Yeah.
family and just everyone around them. There's been some really weird shit going around on Wikipedia. There was a weird post on Wikipedia very briefly that implied he led some kind of spiritual cult. I have no idea if that's true or not, or if that's just clout chasing bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
But they've always been kind of mysterious and reclusive, and people weren't always totally sure what they were up to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Irene said that a landscape person hadn't seen them since the 11th of February. But we don't know yet what day they actually passed, or,
Right.
there's so much more to know. And so there's definitely an open investigation, and we're going to know more about their deaths coming. But it is kind of terrifying, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and for everyone who loved them, how sad.
Yeah. Just all our love to their families. And
Yeah.
we're not spreading any rumors. I'm just telling you what some of these suppositions are, but
Yeah.
we don't know. Nobody
No.
knows at this point what happened
Yeah.
or why this occurred. So we'll keep you updated, though, as it comes out, because it is troubling.
Yeah, it is.
And with that, Katie, I'm going to kick the mic to you for our main case.
Okay. Well, friends, get out your string and your note cards and your push pins, because you're going to need them
This is one of
for
those.
this insane case coming out of Nevada as well as Mexico. So we are talking about Aurora Phelps. And I think I'm going to lead us off with hearing a little bit from the Attorney General in Nevada, and then I'll continue to expand this wild web.
State announced criminal charges against Aurora Phelps, a 43-year-old with residences in Las Vegas and Guadalajara, Mexico. Ms. Phelps is in custody in Mexico. She is charged in a 21-count superseding indictment returned by a federal grand jury, alleging that she conducted a romance scheme to steal money from older men she met on online dating services. The superseding indictment charges Ms. Phelps with 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of mail fraud, 6 counts of bank fraud, 3 counts of identity theft, 1 count of kidnapping, and 1 count of kidnapping resulting in death. From July 1st, 2021 to December 9th, 2022, Ms. Phelps met older men on dating websites or services, then met them in person. It was part of her scheme to drug the older men to gain unauthorized access to and steal money from their financial accounts to personally benefit herself and members of her family. The extradition proceedings began in Mexico after Ms. Phelps was taken into custody there. She remains in custody in Mexico for crimes she committed against individuals identified in this investigation. An extradition warrant has since been issued by a court in Mexico and has been presented to Ms. Phelps, who may challenge her extradition.
The charges being unsealed today relate to crimes Phelps is alleged to have committed against 4 male victims. However, the FBI has become aware of multiple additional potential victims, male and female, both in the United States and Mexico, that we believe Phelps preyed upon over a period of more than 3 years. With regard to the 4 victims identified and outlined in the indictment, we believe Phelps connected with each of them through an online dating application so she could lure them into her confidence under false pretenses and then drug them with dangerous doses of prescription sedatives or other controlled substances. Once she incapacitated her victims, Phelps stole their cars, accessed their bank and brokerage accounts to withdraw cash, used their credit cards to make a variety of purchases, including luxury retail goods and gold, and even attempted to access their Social Security and retirement accounts. All of the victims listed in this indictment are U.S. citizens. 2 were residents of the state of Nevada when they encountered Phelps and were drugged by her. We believe Phelps kidnapped one of these victims by heavily sedating him and pushing him across the U.S.-Mexico border in a wheelchair due to his inebriated state. Phelps then took him to a hotel room in Mexico City, where the victim was found dead a few hours later. 2 of Phelps's other alleged victims were found dead shortly after their encounters with her, and the 1 living victim mentioned in the indictment survived and emerged from a coma after Phelps administered large amounts of prescription sedatives to him over the course of a week. As you'll see depicted on the screen, we know there are certain centers of activity where Aurora Phelps is known to have resided: in Arkansas, here in southern Nevada, and then in central Mexico. This is where we have victims that we believe have been identified. but again, are looking for victims that might be elsewhere in the United States as well. Also, awareness in this case to the aliases that Aurora Phelps is known to use. This may not be an exhaustive list of every alias, but these are certainly ones that we have become aware of. And then also the dating websites that she operated on. Again, not necessarily an exhaustive list, but we have strong evidence that these are the websites that she used to target her victims.
Well, that's what's up.
Whoa,
They're calling
that
it,
is quite something.
yeah. At some point in the press conference, they called it romance scheme on steroids.
Yeah,
So
sounds like it.
after this was announced, she's now been arrested in Mexico and they're trying to extradite her to the U.S., her husband came forward. Apparently, she was married during all of this.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
He's lucky to be alive.
He's done some news interviews now. His name is William Phelps. He says in December 2023, he received a call from the FBI that he needed to return home at once. He was told that his wife was in big trouble, something to do with a fraud scheme. He says he went home from work and the FBI was there with warrants and they were basically sacking his apartment. And he has not seen her since.
Holy
So
hell.
he claims that he doesn't know anything about it, had nothing to do with it, and had no idea she was doing any of this. Though at one point she did transfer $64,000 into his bank account. And he says they had an argument about that, and she said it was just money from an old savings account that she needed to move over. And yeah,
That he didn't
$64,000.
know existed till now? Like, come on, really?
I know people are not sure what to think about William, but that's
And it may be that he's been having major questions about her for a while, but didn't know why.
maybe. He
Or,
says he's known her for 14 years and that he would have had absolutely no idea that she had any of this in her. He said that she's a dual citizen of the US and Mexico, that her English is not great, and that he said she was just a funny lady that liked to sing and dance and clean the house.
what?
Oh, William, honey.
Oh, honey, this is not doing you any favors whatsoever, sir.
He met her as a waitress at IHOP. Apparently, she's been married before and had 3 children with someone else. He said she did spend a lot of time on her phone, but he didn't really suspect that there was anything up.
She was a waitress at IHOP and then magically has a savings account with $64,000 in it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. That piece is certainly problematic, yeah.
Very.
So here's a really good look at Aurora's face. This is what she looks like.
Okay.
The FBI is saying that they really think that there may be more victims and that they really need people to take a look at her and think about their own experiences or their family's experiences and consider whether or not she may have been involved in other crimes. So this is the timeline that the FBI published. They're saying that as they know now, her first victim was in Bentonville, Arkansas, a female, in 2019. The second victim was in Las Vegas in February 2021. Third victim, Las Vegas, April 2021. Fourth victim, and these are the ones that she's actually charged with. This one is initials GC from Henderson, Nevada in November 2021. Fifth victim, RE in Ajio, Mexico, December 2021. Then not charged with, but they believe she had a victim in Guadalajara, Mexico in April 2022.
Okay.
Another victim in Guadalajara in May 2022. And then also in May 2022 in Chapata, Mexico, another victim that she does have charges for. And then in June of 2022, victim number 9 in Guadalajara. Victim number 10 in Guadalajara, August 2022, and then victim number 11 in Las Vegas in November 2022. And again,
Wow.
the superseding indictment that's being applied to her now is only for four of these. They're still working on the rest, and she may have charges and she may not. Some of them may come from Mexico, some of them may come from the US. They're still hammering all of that out. But we do
Well, and
know
that's
that
only
three
up
of
to
her victims
2022. I
died.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
but three of
So
the victims died?
three of the victims died. So she was heavily drugging them. So let's talk a little bit about what we do know from the arrest documents. Or the superseding indictment. She met her first victim as we know it, at least as far as the indictment is concerned. In July 2021, in Vegas, they were going on lunch dates. She was meeting all these people on dating apps. And so she met this guy in Vegas and had tried to get him to travel with her to Mexico, and he hadn't bit. So in November of that year, she ordered lunch to his house and showed up and had lunch with him and drugged him. He lost consciousness for the better part of 5 days. And while
Oh
he
my
was
God.
unconscious in his home, she was robbing him blind.
My God.
They say she stole his iPhone, iPads, driver's license, bank cards, accessed his financial accounts, and conducted multiple financial transactions, transferring money from his accounts. And she was buying stuff from his accounts, from his debit cards, making online purchases and shipping them to herself.
Oh
She
my
also got
God.
into his E-Trade account and sold $3.3 million of Apple stocks that she
What?
tried to steal from him, but wasn't able to get transferred.
Wow.
But sold all of his stocks. Rude.
Holy crap.
Um, yeah. In December, she met a man at the Hard Rock Hotel in Guadalajara, again, met on a dating app. And prosecutors aren't exactly sure what happened to him, but they're saying that she caused him to disappear. They're not sure what that means yet, but they're working on it. But they said over the course of the next year, she made ATM withdrawals from his account, transferred money from his account to hers. She stole his BMW. And then in May 2022, she met another man in Guadalajara. Uh, his daughter tried to get a hold of him the day after he was supposed to meet Aurora for a date, and he didn't answer. And she was nervous about it, so the police went to his home and he was found dead on the floor.
Oh my God.
And then over the course of the next few days, guess who was trying to access his accounts? So she did use his accounts to purchase a gold coin that she had mailed to her home in Nevada.
That's a mistake.
hmm
Using her actual address.
Then in November 2022, she connected with another man in Vegas through a dating app again. She drugged him and made a whole bunch of purchases on his Amex card, and then pushed him into Mexico in a wheelchair because he was so inebriated he couldn't even hold his head up, and rented a hotel room in Mexico City with his credit card. And then she went back to Vegas several days later without the man, and he was found dead in the hotel room.
Oh my God.
So, over the course of the next month after that, she withdrew money, made transfers on his account, transferred that $64,000 into William's account. She used his money to buy plane tickets, hotel rooms, and a motorcycle, of all things.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yep.
Right? Jennifer
And
says she obviously thought she was never going to get caught.
she seemed to. Yeah. Yeah, she seemed to think she was pretty free and clear. Now, she was using multiple aliases. So
Whoa.
she went by Aurora Alvarez, Aurora Flores, Alora Velasco, Aurora Flores Velasco, Ara Bori, Boreas, Bora, Sissy spelled with one S, Laura, or Lara with a U, Lara with no U, Susan, and the dating websites they know she was using were Tinder, Match, Our Time, Plenty of Fish, Bumble, OkCupid, and Hinge. This girl
Wow.
was getting around.
Right?
Yeah.
That is nuts. But she had a female victim early
She
on?
had a female victim. We don't know that's one of the ones she doesn't have charges for yet from Arkansas. So we don't know very much about that one yet, but hopefully they will get there and publish more. I really feel like this is just the beginning of her charges.
Yeah. Well, and where's she been since 2022? Like, are there victims since then?
23. Good
Or
question.
23?
Yeah, good question. Her husband hasn't seen her, he says, since December of 2023. So she's been, I'm assuming, probably in Mexico for the last 14 months.
I would think.
But yeah.
Wow.
So as of now, that's pretty much what we know. The whole arrest doc is in our show notes if you want to read it. It's very interesting. Gives you more of a sense of what her movements were. But
That is
yes, there are
terrifying.
21 counts against, or sorry, 21. Yeah, 21 counts against her as it stands.
And still so many more that could show up
Mm-hmm.
if they get more information, huh?
Yeah.
Whew. That is scary.
It is scary. It's also sad because she's targeting mostly old men that are lonely, that are looking for somebody
Mm-hmm.
to spend time with, that are probably, she's obviously looking for people that are wealthy. I would imagine she's gone on a lot of dates with people that it ended right there because she figured out that they didn't really have anything to offer her because she wanted
Wow.
people with money. The FBI is
Sure.
saying it's hundreds of thousands of dollars that she has stolen.
God.
And worse than that, lives. I mean, she's killed
Yeah.
multiple people and keeping them sedated for long periods of time so that she could access all of their accounts, get a hold of their phones,
Man,
and all
that
of
is
their
cold.
debit cards and all of their finance accounts and things. Yeah. So now we'll just wait for her to be returned to the U.S. That's, in Nevada, they're waiting for the Mexican government to turn her over. And in Mexico, I'm sure they're doing their job as well because they also probably are going to bring charges against her because some of these deaths happened there. The challenge is that some of the deaths happened in Mexico, but the wire fraud essentially happened between Mexico and the U.S. So there'll definitely have to be some cooperation between both entities here. But we'll see if
Yeah.
she gets extradited anytime soon. It could take a long time if she decides to try to fight it. We'll find out.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah,
Is she going to end up being a serial killer? I mean,
good
three
question.
three unrelated victims makes her a serial
That
killer.
makes her a serial killer. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
Lord.
So
That is
we'll
very
keep an eye
scary.
on it. Excuse me. I'm suspecting this is one that dragged out over the course of years to see a conviction.
Yeah. Seems
Yep.
like it.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So, with that, I am going to kick it back to you for a crime news update.
Yes. So we have a little bit of news in Richard Allen. It's not a lot because a lot of it I think we've already covered, but there is, I don't know, as usual, it's some troubling stuff that makes you wonder why they went to trial on him to begin with. So, as you know, this is Richard Allen. He has been convicted of the Delphi murders, Abby and Libby. He's been given 130 years in prison. We covered his trial last year. And there are so many questions about his case and about his conviction and about the things that were left out of his trial, things that the jury very clearly did not get to see that the rest of us know.
Mm-hmm.
And a few things. We know that Judge Gull last week denied a bunch of filings, a bunch of requests by the defense, and denied overturning the conviction.
Mm-hmm.
That's a request that's always made by the defense. It's extremely performative in this situation because we know that Judge Gull is never going to admit to wrongdoing in this case,
Ever.
in
Yeah.
spite of the fact that the list is as long as your arm of things that did not go the way that they're supposed to go
Yeah.
in his trial.
And leading
So,
up to his trial, in his case.
yeah,
in
leading
general.
up to his trial. And I mean, we've kind of always known that until we get to an appellate judge, really there's not going to be any actual consideration of anything in this case because it would be Gull admitting her own wrongdoing, and she's not going
Right.
to do that. We know that.
No.
But then there just some other stuff that's coming out about the potential of other people who may have committed these murders, of course, including Ron Logan. And Ron Logan is the man who owned the property that the girls' bodies were found on.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we now, Ron Logan is dead.
Mm-hmm.
We know that he was in jail for something else and was cellmates with a man named Ricky Davis several years ago, and he told Ricky that Ricky Davis says that Ron Logan told him that he commit those murders.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff going on with that. Number one, because Ron Logan's dead, we can't confirm it.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted a polygraph. Ricky Davis wanted a polygraph. The state says that he failed the polygraph test. Although we don't know because a lot of this information did not get turned over to the defense. So
Right.
I have a real hard time just taking the word of the prosecution in that case,
Right.
considering the missing evidence, deleted interviews, and shit like that has already occurred. It's pretty tough to go to just believe them on their word because they've lied about a lot of stuff.
Well, Ricky Davis says he did take a polygraph, but the questions that they asked him were not specific to what was said to him by
Right.
Ron Logan. Yeah.
Right. So now Ricky Davis also says that he spoke to Keegan Kline. If you recall, Keegan Kline
Yeah.
is the guy who was linked to a Snapchat account that was being used by him and other men
Mm-hmm.
to try to contact young girls
Yeah.
around the time that Abby and Libby were killed.
Yeah. The Anthony
And he is
Shots
now
account.
the Shots account. And we know that Keegan Kline is now in prison in another state on child SA material charges.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know for sure if Ricky Davis ever spoke to him. I don't know how he could have, but he says he did. And what he says is that Ron Logan also implied that he and Keegan Kline and a third unnamed person are the people who actually killed Abby and Libby. Now, this is all very much hearsay. There's no proof of any of this. We don't know. The problem is that this information was presented to the prosecution a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long before Richard Allen ever went to trial. And there's not a lot of evidence that this was really legitimately followed up on.
Right.
There were people in the community who immediately thought Ron Logan was involved. But he died not very long after these girls were killed.
Yeah.
And so we'll never know, really, on his end.
Yeah.
Keegan Kline's not saying shit because he's already in prison for other stuff and he's already in prison for life.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not saying anything, and they're not taking the Ricky Davis stuff seriously.
No.
And it is tough to take, somebody who is in prison for other crimes, to take them seriously when they don't have anything but just hearsay to prove what was said, you know? But that's kind of what's happening right now. Things were, Alan's lawyers are saying that a lot of this information was not shared with them, and that they don't feel like that it was, that the evidence was adequately given to them.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have an opportunity to respond to some of these allegations and to look into these people. And I mean, we know the prosecution didn't do shit looking into these people.
Right.
Even before Richard Allen was ever identified as their suspect. Because if you recall,
Right.
there were a lot of suspects identified over the years. It's been 7 years now since those girls were killed. And there were a lot of supposed suspects over the years that they said they were looking into. But we now know from the trial how badly the investigation was botched. And it's very hard to go back now for missing information that was never actually even sought in the first place, to get the truth of what was going on at the time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of this going on. Is it really going to affect Alan's conviction? At this point, no. They don't have anything real and tangible.
Right.
But the attempts are certainly still being made by his attorneys. And now the appellate appeals begin. And though that is a much longer process, years usually, but it won't involve Judge Gull.
Right.
But are other judges in Indiana going to be willing to call out her misconduct and her very clear bias in this case? We don't know, honestly. You know, I mean, I think, what is it, like something like 3% of appeals are won in murder cases. It's very unlikely.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate. Because it seems
is.
like there was a lot more information that should have been followed up on at the time that it arrived to the police and to the prosecutor. And going back now, I mean, one of these potential suspects is dead.
Yeah.
The other one's in prison. Like, and who's the third guy, if there's a third guy?
Right.
Because why, if Ricky Davis really knows all this stuff, why does he only know that there was a third guy but not know his name? Where he knew Ron Logan's name and he knew Keaton Klein's name, why didn't he know the third guy's name?
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that kind of comes out to be nothing, unfortunately, really.
Right. But was there a legitimate Brady violation here?
Was there?
And if there was, is that a reversible error?
Right. And those are the kinds of things that are going to get challenged in his appeals now.
Yeah.
And especially getting this out of Judge Cannon's court. I think that they have known, I think everybody who thinks that Richard Allen did not do this have known that he never had a chance in hell in Gull's court.
Yeah.
So now they'll move into, the appellate actual process. And let's hope maybe there are some judges that can see the bullshit that has gone on here and the abuse of Richard Allen and the hideous human rights violations that he has experienced. The way that this investigation was handled, I don't know if we'll ever know who killed Abby and Libby. They certainly didn't prove that he did. I mean, I realize the jury thought they did, but they didn't. And if they can't even prove that he did or didn't do it, how are they going to prove anybody else did?
Right.
I don't know.
No, something still stinks in Delphi. Always will.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we were talking last night about how things change as over time, like elected officials, like prosecutors change. And when we see something like that happen, that's when we might see somebody take a new look at this. And sometimes they will call out their own office if they come in and they're like, this was bullshit, it never should have happened this way, with a new elected official.
Yeah.
Then you might see that. But that's years and years down the road.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Richard Allen. And I don't know if he's got that much time, honestly. after everything that he's been through, and I cannot imagine how he's being treated now that he's been convicted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were treating him like a mass murderer before he was even convicted. So I'm sure it's not any better now.
No, I can only imagine. Yeah.
So it's really unfortunate. All of it stinks of this was never done correctly, but I don't know if we'll ever see any justice on that side of things.
Yeah.
I think it's really unfortunate for Abby and Libby's families, I mean, they've stood behind the verdict, stood behind the jury.
Sure.
But I cannot imagine that they don't privately have some questions. If they watched that trial, they watched those videos, or at least were in the courtroom for a lot of the videos of Richard Allen and the way that he was being treated in prison. And they've got to be questioning. Like, not one person identified Richard Allen as Bridge Guy. And Bridge Guy was never proven to be the person who killed those girls.
No.
This was a smoke and mirrors situation
Also,
that I think tricked that jury. Can you imagine being one of those jurors now? If you've looked into this and you're learning all this stuff that you didn't know, I would be
horrified.
furious.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I would be horrified. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we know there.
Yeah.
Now I have a little crimes against women update that I felt like was really important to throw in here. Well, friends, a couple of very unwanted U.S. citizens have been allowed to come home from Romania. And that's these two jackasses right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you heard me correctly. The Tate Brothers, who are under investigation for sex trafficking in Romania and the UK, have been allowed to return to the United States.
Yep.
They just returned today. You will probably be unsurprised to learn that they flew right in to Florida. Rumors are they were headed for Mar-a-Lago. We can't prove that. That's just what the rumors are. Andrew Tate, of course, has had a huge social media following in which he was the most misogynistic, disgusting man on the planet for many years. And he and his brother Tristan have been being held in Romania for the last 2 years because they're being investigated for human trafficking in Romania.
Yeah.
And then recently it came out in the news that there were cases in the UK against them as well.
Yeah.
And Romania had not allowed them to travel outside the country because they didn't want them to just, disappear and never return.
Well, they had a hard time getting a hold of them in the first place. And in fact,
oh yeah,
do you remember how Andrew Tate was finally arrested in Romania?
Yeah, from a dumbass picture he posted on Twitter that gave away their location based on a pizza box on the table in the photo.
Yep.
But Romania has been like, yeah, you're not going anywhere because we're investigating you. Well, it turns out, guys, and I know you're going to find this not surprising. Yeah. Some U.S. officials, unnamed, of course, have been lobbying to allow the Tates to return to the United States because they are American citizens.
Yeah.
Why would said officials want these accused sex traffickers back in the United States? Why? I can think of a lot of reasons. Yeah, Trump said he doesn't know anything about it, but I mean, the dude never says anything that's true. And do we not know that by now?
Somebody knows something about it because
somebody knows something about it.
Yeah.
Yes. There have been some kind of negotiations going on in Romania, and nobody will come out and say what happened. Their attorney here in the U.S. is like, well, I'm not sure, but I mean, the proof's in the pudding, basically, because here they are. Mm-hmm. So Governor Ron DeSantis, who is a person I absolutely never agree with, said they are not welcome in the state of Florida. And I was like, oh my God, I agree with Ron DeSantis. What has happened to me? He has actually looked into his legal rights as a governor to expel them from his state. Mm-hmm. He can't. That's only the federal government that can do that, not the state government. And, DeSantis and Trump, not friends.
No. But these two are disgusting.
They are disgusting
if you're
humans.
not familiar with them, look them up and just get a sense of the things that they have said.
Oh,
The
they're
things that
so
Andrew
gross.
Tate particularly has said over the years. Holy
Yes.
shit.
He was
His
doing a
energy
lot of
around women.
training of young
Yes.
men about how they should treat women
Mhm.
that is so hideous and disgusting.
Mhm.
Awful.
They're worse than Handmaid's Tale. Yeah.
They are. But let's be clear, they are not convicted of any crimes. They are under investigation. Now, they are also the plaintiffs in a defamation case in Florida. There is a young woman in Florida who has accused them of trafficking her and raping her when she was a minor.
Mhm.
And they are suing her for that.
Oh.
Now, will they receive charges in the United States now that they're back in the country for her case? I don't know, but that case is happening, guess where? Florida. So that's one of the reasons they're using as a reason why they should be able to come back to Florida, is to defend themselves. In this, they're the plaintiffs. They're suing her, but they, to be a part of this. They say they're going to be going back to Romania to meet with prosecutors here pretty soon to work out their case there. Oh, my ass they are. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Some political pundits think, Trump's government is beefing hardcore with the UK.
Yeah.
And there are big thoughts right now that this is a finger in the face to the UK to get in the middle of their criminal investigation of the Tate brothers, that they will bring them to the United States and protect them and not allow them to be extradited. We don't know if that is true. That is a theory that is out there, but time will tell. They literally flew into the U.S. today, landed in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I hate hearing that.
It makes me sick. Why do these people need to be back in the United States? For what possible reason other than to just be horrible? I don't know. Maybe be rewarded for their hideous behavior by other people who have carried out the same hideous behavior? Yeah. There is no good reason for any U.S. official to be fighting for these two?
No.
None whatsoever.
No. Yeah, that is really troubling. And
so we will be keeping a close eye on this, because I think it's very important to. Also, please do not forget their faces. If you live in Florida, particularly, please make sure that every young person that you know knows who they are and the things that they are being investigated for. They are dangerous men. Mm-hmm. They are not safe and have been accused of harming many women. Yeah. And honestly, I can't imagine what the U.S. wants with them.
The young men that they have empowered.
Yes.
To mistreat women. I mean, that's just a splash in the bucket. Yeah.
It is. Right. Jennifer says he is basically the poster boy for the red pill guys. Exactly. Yeah. The hate and vitriol that he expresses toward and about women, and the way that he has recommended that young men treat women is absolutely disgusting. And for that reason alone, I don't think he should be allowed back in this country. No. But that's just my opinion.
Right. But the charges and the ongoing court battles
how they should be allowed to be back in the United States before those cases have been adjudicated, I do not understand.
No.
Most people who are, being investigated on criminal charges in other countries sit their asses in other countries. Yeah. Even if they are an American. Mm-hmm. So, sorry about it, Florida. Even your shitty governor doesn't want them there.
Nope.
Yeah. So, we'll keep an eye on that. Let you know if we learn anything more. Maybe there'll be some cases against them in the U.S. now. I don't know.
Maybe there will. Who knows? Ugh. Okay. Well, that's what we've got. So, well, that was a lot today. That was not as lot as last night. My gosh. Case updates was packed last night. Yeah.
Yes, it
A
was.
lot going on. Yeah. Tons going on in Karen Reed. I can't even keep up. I'll try next week to recap
Oh my
what
gosh,
we know.
it's
But
so
whew,
much.
head spinning. Head
A
spinning
lot
for
of new
Amanda stuff.
allegations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
all
against
kinds of-
her.
No, but a lot of things going on. So we'll try and get a handle on all of that.
Yeah.
And so we'll be back on Monday at 6 p.m. But keep an eye out for Patreons somewhere between tonight and tomorrow. You'll see 2 brand new Patreons come out for February. So I know I'm
Yes,
super
you
excited
will. And
about my
I'm doing
case,
a
and I know
cult.
you've been, you
Yikes.
on the Colts.
Hmm.
I also was doing a cult. We hadn't discussed this, but I also was doing a cult, but found something else I liked more and dropped it. So anyway, it was almost all cult February. But yeah. Yeah, I just said three days of hearings in Karen Reed next week. Yeah, you just
Yeah,
about
it's
can't
gonna
keep
be
up right now.
really interesting to see what the hell they're going to do with this mess.
Hmm
Because
Well,
just
and
when you
if
thought the Supreme Court solved it, no, they didn't.
not even close, no. And
No.
now there's I don't know. There's some allegations against one of her attorneys that makes him look real bad too, Jackson.
Yes.
That it raises questions about whether he'll be able to even stay on her case. And oh man,
Yeah.
drama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, we're going to go and we'll see you guys next week. Please have a good weekend. Take good care of yourselves. And we'll be back. This has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad.
Bye, everybody.
Season 6, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.